Okay, so let's dive into this. You sent over some sources on AI agents.
Yeah.
Which is clearly like a hot topic.
Yeah, definitely.
And I feel like you're on the cutting edge of this.
Well, I'm trying to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Because you're right, everyone's talking about these AI agents from tech blogs to like serious academic papers.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
So we've got some really interesting excerpts here.
Yeah.
We've got one from Chip Huiyan's blog post called Agents.
Yeah, great post.
And then also a piece from Anthropic.
Right.
Titled Building Effective Agents. So clearly, like, a lot of smart people are thinking about this.
Absolutely, yeah. And they're definitely effective. So in this deep dive, let's try to, like, break down, what exactly are these agents?
Yeah.
How do they actually work? What makes them so powerful? And maybe a little bit, scary.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
The whole robots taking over the world thing.
Well, maybe hold off on building that bunker just yet.
But you're right to be both fascinated and cautious, because this is definitely game-changing technology.
Okay, so before we get to the robot uprising, let's just start with, like, the very basics.
Sure.
What exactly is an AI agent?
The classic definition is actually pretty simple.
Okay.
It's anything that can perceive its environment and then act upon it.
Okay, sounds pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But how does that actually translate into, the AI we're seeing today?
That's where it gets really interesting. That's where the environment and the actions become super important.
Okay.
So, for example, an agent that's designed to play a game like Minecraft is going to operate very differently from one that's built to, analyze stock market data.
Okay, so it's not just like a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Exactly.
It's tailored to that environment and has a purpose.
Exactly. And even like the AI tools that you might already be using, ChatGPT, that's an agent too. It's using tools like web search, code execution, even image generation.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
So we're not just talking about AI like thinking on its own. It's using other tools to get these things accomplished.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow.
And that's what's, I think, one of the most mind-blowing things about AI agents.
Okay.
Is that these tools don't just add to the AI's abilities, they actually change the entire environment in which that AI can operate.
No. Okay, now I'm intrigued.
Right.
Give me a concrete example.
Sure. So imagine an AI that's tasked with, say, writing a marketing report.
All right.
Okay, now give that AI access to a tool that can pull data from social media platforms. Now suddenly, instead of just rehashing old data, it can analyze real-time trends, it can see what people are talking about right now and tailor that report to what's actually happening.
So it's really changing the game.
Totally changing the game.
Yeah.
And there have been studies that show that giving AI access to the right tools can increase its success rate on complex tasks by like 30%.
Whoa. 30%.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's a pretty compelling argument.
It is.
To be giving it the right tools.
Yeah, it's not just about, bigger models. It's about giving them the right tools.
So then how do we even categorize these tools?
So
what are we talking about?
Yeah.
We're talking about like digital tools, physical tools, like what?
Yeah, it's all digital.
Okay.
But the impact is very real world.
Okay.
So Chip Huiyan, in his blog post, he breaks down these tools into 3 really fascinating categories.
Okay.
And they are knowledge augmentation, capability extension, and right actions.
Okay, let's start with that first one, knowledge augmentation.
Sure. Yeah, so knowledge augmentation, this is all about feeding the AI more information, more context. So think about giving it access to massive databases, research papers, real-time news feeds, or even, a company's own internal data.
So it's like giving it a superpower research library.
Exactly.
Or like a direct line to like the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like collective knowledge.
Exactly. So that's knowledge augmentation.
Okay.
And then the second category is capability extension.
Okay.
And this is about addressing the AI's weaknesses.
Okay.
Head on.
Okay.
So for instance, if an AI struggles with like complex math, you equip it with a calculator tool.
Okay.
Needs to schedule meetings, give it access to a calendar.
Sure.
Can't decipher code, give it a code interpreter.
Okay.
So suddenly, it can perform tasks that were previously out of reach.
It's like giving it a Swiss Army knife.
Exactly.
With a tools.
Digital tools, yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense. You're giving it tools to like overcome its limitations.
Yeah.
But then that third one, right actions, that sounds a little bit more powerful. And maybe a little risky.
Yeah, right actions are where the real power and also the potential risks come into play.
Okay.
This is about giving AI the ability to not just analyze information, but to actually take action in the real world.
Wait, hold on. Real world actions.
Yes.
What does that even look like?
So imagine an AI agent that can not only analyze your company's financial data,
Yeah.
but it can actually update spreadsheets, send invoices, even execute financial transactions.
Whoa, okay.
Or an AI that can schedule appointments, book travel, manage your entire calendar based on your preferences.
Okay, so now we're not just talking about like making reports or summarizing information.
Exactly.
We're talking about like decisions and actions that actually have consequences.
Real world consequences, yeah.
Wow.
And that's why both sources really emphasize the need for very careful planning
Sure.
and oversight as these tools become more and more powerful and autonomous.
So it's kind of like giving someone the keys to the car without making sure they have a driver's license first.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, we need to be careful.
Absolutely. And speaking of planning, that's actually a crucial concept
Okay.
when we talk about AI agents, because they don't just react to information, they actually plan their actions.
Okay, let's talk about that. What does it even mean for an AI to plan?
Yeah, so think of planning, like creating a roadmap.
Okay.
They break down complex tasks into smaller steps.
Okay.
They consider different options, strategies, and then they try to predict the best path to achieve a specific goal.
So it's like they're creating a strategy before they jump into action.
Exactly, yeah.
Not just reacting, but thinking ahead.
Thinking ahead, precise.
Okay, but is that even like, is there some debate around whether AI can truly plan effectively?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is where things get a little controversial.
Okay.
Some experts argue that current AI models just lack the ability to truly reason and backtrack. They might get stuck following a flawed plan, unable to adapt to new information. However, other researchers believe that we just haven't figured out how to prompt them properly or provide them with the right tools for effective planning.
So it's really a question of, are they thinking strategically or just following like instructions?
Exactly, yeah.
That's a tough one to unravel.
It is. But one important piece of this puzzle is something called function calling.
Function calling, okay.
And this is how AI agents actually use the tools in their plan.
So can you break that down for me? What does that even mean, function calling?
Yeah. So think of it like ordering from a menu at a restaurant.
Okay.
Each dish on the menu represents a specific function that the AI can execute.
Okay.
And these functions have, ingredients, parameters that tell the function how to operate.
Okay.
So the AI essentially picks from the menu.
Yeah.
Selects the ingredients it needs, and then the kitchen, which is like the AI system, executes the order.
Got it. So it knows which tool to use, how to use it, what to put in it.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
So then even if it has the right plan and all the right tools, I'm sure there's still room for like things to go wrong.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why both sources spend a lot of time talking about reflection and evaluation.
Okay.
These are like the quality control measures.
What does that look like when we're talking about AI?
Yeah.
Like, does it literally sit down and like think about its choices?
Well, not quite in the same way that humans do.
Okay.
But the concept is very similar.
Okay.
So think of it like an AI playing a game of chess.
Okay.
After each move, it analyzes like what went well, what went wrong, how to adjust its strategy for the next turn. That's reflection in a nutshell.
So it's like a constant feedback loop.
Exactly.
It's learning, trying to get better.
Exactly. And both sources really stress the importance of breaking down tasks into these manageable steps.
Sure.
And having the AI explain its reasoning at each step. This helps us understand what's going on inside the mind of the AI and ensure that it stays on track.
So transparency is key.
Transparency is key.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the AI itself, right?
Right.
Both sources emphasize the crucial role of human oversight, especially when you're dealing with sensitive information or tasks that have, significant real-world impact. It's a collaboration, not a takeover.
So we're not just handing it the keys and walking away.
Exactly.
Working alongside it. Guiding it, making sure it's doing the right thing.
Exactly. It's a partnership.
A partnership between the humans and the AI.
Exactly. And that brings us to another important point, which is that even with, careful planning, the right tools, and human oversight, things can still go wrong.
Oh, I'm sure they can.
So it's important to understand and try to anticipate
Right.
these, like, failure modes.
Yeah. What are some of those, like, red flags or the things that can go wrong?
So both sources really highlight the importance of understanding these failure modes. And one of the most common is planning failure.
Okay. Remind me what a planning failure is.
So planning failure is basically when the AI's roadmap goes astray.
Okay.
This could mean selecting the wrong tool for the task, misinterpreting instructions, or even creating a plan that just simply doesn't achieve the desired outcome.
So it's like having a faulty GPS.
Exactly. You set out on a road trip and you end up, hundreds of miles off course.
I've been on that road trip. It's not fun.
It's not fun. And those planning failures can have a real domino effect, right?
Yeah.
Leading to all sorts of other problems.
So how do we catch those before they become, like, major issues?
So one approach is to create what's called a planning data set.
Okay.
This is essentially a training ground for the AI.
Okay.
It includes, a variety of tasks and a set of tools that the AI can use to practice its planning skills.
So it's like a mock mission before they go on the real mission.
Exactly. We want to see how it performs under pressure, how it adapts to unexpected challenges, and how it learns from its mistakes.
Okay.
And this helps us identify any patterns in its planning process that might, indicate weaknesses or vulnerabilities.
Gotcha, like those red flags.
Exactly. Spotting those red flags early on.
Okay.
But what about failures that occur even when the AI has a solid plan?
Okay.
We talked earlier about tool failures.
Right.
Those are a little trickier.
Because the tool itself is malfunctioning.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
even if the AI is using it correctly, the tool itself might break down.
So it's like having a state-of-the-art GPS.
Yeah.
But it's giving you the wrong directions.
Exactly. And there's no,
Oh, no, not another GPS analogy.
I know, but there's no magic bullet here.
Okay.
It really comes down to rigorous testing, ongoing maintenance, and continuous monitoring of tool performance.
So it's really about checking under the hood.
Checking under the hood.
Making sure everything is working properly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got planning failures. We've got tool failures.
Right.
Are there any other ways that these agents can kind of go astray, even if they have, a good plan and the tools are working correctly?
There's one more that's really critical to consider, and that's efficiency.
Okay.
So even if an AI agent achieves a goal successfully,
Yeah.
it might do so in a way that's incredibly roundabout, time-consuming, or just resource-intensive.
So it's like taking the long way home.
Exactly.
When there's a much faster, more direct route.
Exactly. And this is where comparing the AI's performance to human benchmarks becomes really important. How long does it take a human expert to complete the same task? How many steps are involved? By analyzing these differences, you can identify areas where the AI agent can be optimized for speed and efficiency.
So it's not a gas guzzler.
On a gas guzzler. It's fuel efficient.
Exactly. And that's why this continuous evaluation and refinement is so crucial.
Yeah. We need to be constantly monitoring its performance, looking for bottlenecks, and finding ways to streamline the process.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
Yeah.
But, we're talking about potentially game-changing technology here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the benefits can far outweigh the challenges if we approach it carefully and thoughtfully.
So speaking of pushing the boundaries of this technology, both sources kind of hint at this possibility of AI agents not just using tools, but actually creating their own tools from existing ones.
Right, yeah.
That sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It does, doesn't it?
AI creating its own tool.
I know, it's incredible, but, the research is pointing in that direction.
Yeah.
Imagine an AI agent that can take, existing tools like web search, data analysis, natural language processing, and combine them in novel ways to create entirely new capabilities.
So instead of us giving it the toolbox, we're giving it the power to build its own tools.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
It is, and it's a little unsettling.
Yeah, a little bit.
So it's definitely, it's a double-edged sword.
Okay.
On the one hand, it opens up this world of possibilities for automation and problem solving. Imagine AI agents that can design scientific experiments, analyze complex financial data, even generate original music compositions.
Yeah, the potential is just mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling, but as you said.
But what about the risks?
Yeah.
What if it creates a tool that's harmful or dangerous?
Right, and that's a very valid concern.
Yeah.
And that's why as we give AI agents more and more power and autonomy, the need for robust safety measures and ethical guidelines becomes absolutely paramount.
So we're really kind of entering uncharted territory here.
We are.
Yeah.
We're giving it the power to not just shape its own actions, but to shape its own capabilities.
It's a huge responsibility.
It is. It is. And it's a responsibility that we as developers, researchers, users of AI, need to take very, very seriously.
Yeah, it's not about fearing the future. It's about, shaping it responsibly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the mechanics.
Yeah.
The potential benefits, the risks, the importance of evaluation. But how does all of this actually translate to the real world?
Yeah.
How are these agents going to impact our everyday lives?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And that's actually something that I think we should delve into a little bit deeper.
Okay.
In the next part of our deep dive,
Okay.
we can explore how AI agents are transforming industries like, customer service, software development, and many others.
Okay. Sounds like we've got a lot more to uncover.
We do.
We'll be back in a moment to continue our exploration of AI agents and what the future holds for this, truly transformative technology. So stay with us.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about all the ways these AI agents can fail.
Right.
But it's important to remember that these failures aren't just setbacks. They're actually valuable opportunities to learn and improve.
I like that perspective, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I usually think of failure as, failure. How can we learn from that?
Well, by analyzing those failures, we can actually gain a deeper understanding of how to improve the agent's design, how to select the best tools, and how to refine those planning strategies. So it's like this continuous feedback loop that helps us build more reliable and effective AI systems.
So it's like those oops moments are actually essential for its development.
Exactly. And Chip Huyen's blog post does a great job of breaking down these failure modes into specific categories, and he starts with those planning failures.
Right. We talked about those when the AI's roadmap, goes off course.
Exactly.
But how can we avoid those planning mishaps, in the first place?
So one strategy is to create what's called a planning data set.
Okay.
And this is think of it like a training ground for the AI.
Okay.
It includes a variety of tasks.
Okay.
And a set of tools that the AI can use to practice its planning skills.
So it's like a series of mock missions before we send it out on the real mission.
Precisely. We want to see how it performs under pressure, how it adapts to unexpected challenges, and how it learns from its mistakes.
Okay.
And by analyzing those practice runs, we can gain insights into what types of tasks, trip the AI up, which tools it struggles to use effectively, and where we need to focus our efforts in terms of design and training.
So spotting those red flags early on before they become, major problems.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. But what about failures that occur even when the AI has a really solid plan?
Right.
We talked about tool failures.
Right. Tool failures.
Yeah.
Are those preventable?
Tool failures are, they're trickier.
Okay.
Because they involve malfunctions within the tools themselves, even if the AI is using them correctly.
Okay.
So it's like having a, state-of-the-art GPS, but suddenly it starts giving you the wrong directions. Oh, no, not another GPS analogy.
I know, but it's a good one.
Okay.
But yeah, there's no, magic bullet here.
Yeah.
It really comes down to rigorous testing, ongoing maintenance, and continuous monitoring of that tool's performance.
Oh, so we really need to be constantly checking under the hood.
Checking under the hood, making sure everything is in tip-top shape.
Okay.
And just like with a car, regular maintenance can prevent those major breakdowns down the line.
It sounds like a lot of work.
It is. But remember, we're talking about potentially game-changing technology here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the benefits can far outweigh the challenges, if we approach it carefully and thoughtfully.
So we've covered planning failures. We've covered tool failures.
Right.
Are there any other ways that these AI agents can kind of stumble, even if they have a good plan and the tools are working properly?
Yeah, there's one more that's really critical to consider.
Okay.
And that's efficiency.
Okay.
So even if an AI agent achieves a goal successfully, it might do so in a way that's incredibly roundabout, time-consuming, or just resource-intensive.
So it's like taking the long way home.
Exactly, when there's a much faster, more direct route.
Even though you know the faster route.
Right, exactly. And this is where comparing the AI's performance to human benchmarks becomes really important.
Okay.
How long does it take a human expert to complete the same task?
Okay.
How many steps are involved? And by analyzing those differences, you can actually identify areas where the AI agent can be optimized for speed and efficiency.
So it's not a gas guzzler.
Exactly. It's fuel efficient.
Yeah, we want it to be, doing things the smart way.
Exactly. And that's why continuous evaluation and refinement is so crucial.
Okay.
We need to be constantly monitoring its performance, looking for those bottlenecks, finding ways to streamline the process.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but, I guess that's the nature of working with this kind of cutting-edge technology. Always room for improvement and optimization.
Absolutely. And speaking of pushing the boundaries of this technology, both sources kind of hint at this possibility of AI agents not just using tools, but actually creating their own tools.
Wait, hold on a second. AI creating its own tools?
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
That sounds like that's straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It does, doesn't it? It's incredible.
Yeah.
But the research is actually pointing in that direction. Yeah. Imagine an AI agent that can take existing tools like web search, data analysis, natural language processing, and combine them in novel ways to create entirely new capabilities.
So instead of us giving it the toolbox, we're giving it the power to build its own tools.
Exactly. And it's both fascinating.
It is.
And a little bit unsettling.
A little bit. Yeah, for sure.
So it's a double-edged sword.
Okay.
On the one hand, it opens up this world of possibilities for automation and problem solving. Imagine AI agents that can design scientific experiments, analyze complex financial data, even generate original music compositions.
Yeah, I mean, the potential is mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling.
But, as you said, there's two sides to this.
Exactly.
What about the risks?
Right. What if it creates a tool that's harmful or dangerous? And that's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And that's why, as we give AI agents more and more power and autonomy, the need for those robust safety measures and ethical guidelines becomes absolutely paramount.
So we're kind of entering like uncharted territory here.
We're giving it the power to not just shape its own actions, but to shape its own capabilities.
Yeah.
Which is, that's huge.
It's a huge responsibility.
It is. And it's a responsibility that we as developers, researchers, users of AI, need to take very, very seriously.
It's not about fearing the future. It's about shaping it responsibly.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about, kind of the mechanics of this, the benefits, the risks, the importance of, evaluation, refinement, all that stuff. But how does this actually translate into the real world?
Yeah.
How are these agents going to impact, our everyday lives?
That's a great question, and it's something we can definitely explore in more detail after a quick break.
Okay.
But I can tell you this, the age of AI agents is here.
Okay.
And it's poised to revolutionize everything from customer service to healthcare to education.
Okay, I'm hooked. We'll be back in a moment to dive into the real-world implications of AI agents and what the future holds for this, truly transformative technology. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Before the break, we were talking about AI agents actually creating their own tools.
Yeah, it's wild.
Right, it's a concept that seems like so sci-fi, but it's becoming a reality.
Yeah.
And as these AI agents get more and more sophisticated, who knows what they'll be able to do?
It's pretty amazing to think about. And the fact is, we're already seeing some early examples of this playing out in the real world.
Okay, you've got my attention. Give me an example.
Okay, so think about customer support. Anthropic's research highlighted how AI agents are changing the way companies interact with their customers.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Let's say you're having trouble with a product you bought online.
Yeah, happens all the time.
You contact customer support, but instead of being put on hold or having to navigate a complicated phone system, you're connected to an AI agent right away.
Okay, that already sounds promising. No more annoying hold music.
No more hold music, exactly.
Yeah.
And what's even better is this AI agent has access to all your purchase history, your past interactions with the company.
Wow.
A huge database of product information.
Okay.
It can quickly figure out what's wrong, offer solutions tailored to your situation, even process refunds or replacements if needed.
So it's like having a super efficient, all-knowing customer service rep.
Exactly.
Available like 24/7.
Exactly, 24/7.
I can see the appeal.
Yeah, and studies have shown that these AI agents can handle a huge volume of customer requests at the same time.
Okay.
So wait times plummet and customer satisfaction actually goes up.
So it's a win-win.
It's a win-win, yeah.
For the customer and the company?
For both sides.
Okay, what about other industries? Are we seeing AI agents making a difference in other areas?
Oh, absolutely. Another area that's ripe for disruption is software development.
Okay.
Anthropic's research also highlighted some really groundbreaking work with coding agents.
Wait, coding agents? You mean AI that can write software?
That's right, AI that can write software.
Is that really possible?
Not only is it possible, it's already happening.
Oh, okay.
So these coding agents can take on a complex task, like fixing a bug in a program, and break it down into smaller, more manageable steps.
Yeah.
They can access relevant code libraries, write new lines of code, and even test their work to make sure it's accurate.
So instead of a human developer spending like hours and hours, poring over lines of code, they can kind of hand that off to the AI.
Exactly. It frees up the human developers to focus on the bigger picture.
Okay.
The more creative and strategic aspects of software design.
Okay.
Well, the AI handles those more routine tasks.
That's a really cool example of how AI can augment human capabilities rather than replacing them entirely.
Absolutely.
But it does kind of make you wonder where that line is between human work and AI work.
That's a great question. And it's a question I think we're going to be grappling with more and more as AI technology advances.
For sure.
But it's important to remember both sources emphasize the importance of human oversight and ethical considerations in all of this.
So it's not about replacing us. It's about figuring out how to work together.
Exactly, how to collaborate effectively. And that requires open and honest conversations about how we develop and deploy these technologies. Always keeping in mind the potential impact on individuals and society as a whole.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from the basic mechanics of AI agents to their potential impact, across these various industries.
Yeah, it's been a great conversation.
What's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
I think the most important thing to remember is that AI agents are tools. They can be incredibly powerful tools.
Right.
But ultimately, their impact depends on how we choose to use them.
It's up to us to make sure they're used responsibly and ethically and for the benefit of, humanity.
Absolutely. And that means having a deep understanding of how these agents work.
Yeah.
Knowing their limitations and being aware of the potential pitfalls. It's about being informed, being engaged, and actively participating in the conversation about how we shape the future of AI.
Well said. Well, we've come to the end of our deep dive into the fascinating world of AI agents.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those big questions. Because after all, the future of AI is in our hands.